Hello and welcome to the Rev View. I'm Andrew Riddle. Our thoughts are with all of our clients and everyone else in Florida impacted by the hurricanes. We hope everyone is recovering well. We're glad to report, at least that here in Atlanta, it really wasn't as bad as we thought it would be. There's a lot of debris down on the road today, but for the most part, people maintained power and things seem to be okay. So that's good news there, and we hope all of you in Florida are recovering quickly and will be back on your feet very, very soon. In terms of economic news, non-hurricane news anyway, one of the big stories floating around out there that unfortunately is going to impact a lot of us is this Equifax breach. The data hack at Equifax is going to make the Target breach look like child's play. In fact, it has a chance to be the largest data hack ever. It's probably going to impact up to 44% of Americans who will have had some form of their identity stolen or at least compromised through the Equifax hack. There's not a lot you can do right at the moment other than go to equifaxsecurity2017.com. You can plug in your name and I think the last 6 digits of your social security number, and it will tell you if you've been impacted or not. Equifax is offering some free credit monitoring for people who have been impacted, but it's probably worth at least putting your name in there to see. And of course, keep a close eye on your bank accounts and your credit accounts and make sure nothing is happening in there that shouldn't be. In Washington, we had some good news finally. President Trump decided to work with the Democrats a little bit, and depending on how you feel about that, they did at least get something done, which was raising the debt ceiling. Of course, the debt ceiling was set to expire here in just a couple of days. That poses the risk of government shutdown and other things that are obviously very bad, particularly when we're trying to respond to 2 huge hurricanes. They did get the debt ceiling raised to a new deadline now of December 15th, so that'll keep the government funded until December 15th, and also provide $15 billion in hurricane relief. Of course, this just kicks the can down the road. We'll be talking about debt ceilings and government shutdowns again in December, but hopefully this gives Congress some time to get something more permanent worked out. In terms of the markets last week, the markets definitely sagged with just getting over Hurricane Harvey, the impending threat of Hurricane Irma, and of course North Korea was making a lot of noise last week. We had a lot of headline risk. And headline risk did drag the markets down. The Dow was down 84 basis points last week. The S&P lost almost 0.6%, and the NASDAQ was down over 1% last week. That said, with Hurricane Irma obviously impacting southern Florida pretty badly, but not having the impact into North Florida and Georgia and other places that we were originally concerned about, the market responded very favorably yesterday by bouncing up. The market's up again, at least so far this morning. This is Tuesday morning. So it looks like we're recovering nicely from last week. Big news this week. It's big news the second week of almost every September is going to be Apple. Apple is set to have a launch party about starting around 1 o'clock this afternoon Eastern time, and we're expecting at least 2 new iPhones, maybe 3, among other things. This is usually Apple's big event of the year. It'll be live blogged. I think there's even a way if you have a Mac or an iPad, you can watch the live stream. I've done that before, and I'll tell you, these events are more boring than you think, but it will be interesting to see what comes out of it and what the market reaction to it is. We'll obviously be watching it very closely. I think it is something that will impact Apple stock, and of course, as Apple stock goes, there's a number of other technology stocks that tend to go with it, and the NASDAQ will tend to travel with it some as well. So that's exciting. We'll be looking at that this week, and we look forward to reporting that back to you next week. Thanks for watching.